Call this meeting to order. Tuesday, March 3rd, 2020, 7:11 p.m. City of Somerton regular council meeting. I apologize, the work session ran exactly at the hour, and then we had some special guests here from TDS, from Tierra del Sol, our students of the month, which I'm gonna call and pledge of allegiance and the pledge of allegiance.
Of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I told you I had something to give for you. Alejandro. I think we're going to take a picture. Alessandro. Want to take a picture?
We'll leave it to the left, to the right. That's good.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Carabanaya.
Present.
Vice Mayor Marta Garcia. Present. Councilman Miguel Villalpando.
Present.
Councilman Carlos Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilman Luis Galindo.
Present.
Councilman Jesus Roldan.
Present.
Councilman Juan Castillo.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And call to the public. Anybody from the public wishing to address council? There's no one. Moving on to consent agenda. We have 3 items in consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of February 18, 2020 work session minutes. Approval of February 18, 2020 regular council meeting. Approval of application for extension of premises permit for the St. Patrick's celebration on March 14th and Sunday, March 15th at 8535 Sports Bar. Is there a motion? So motion by Councilman Gonzalez, second by Vice Mayor Garcia. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1, new business. Discussion of possible approval of resolution 2020-001, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Somerton, Arizona, repealing resolutions of intention 2019-008 and 2019-009, and resolutions of authorization 2019-010 and 2019-011 affecting the Valle del Sol Phase 4 subdivision, retention basin improvement district, and street lighting improvement district.
Mayor and Council, good evening. Tonight we are asking to approve resolution number 2020-001, repealing 4 resolutions approved in May 2019, creating 2 improvement districts, 1 for retention basin and 1 for public lighting within the Valle del Sol's Phase 4 subdivision. Because this area was already included in the original Valle del Sol Phases 1, 2, and 3, improvement districts approved back in 2005. Typically, improvement districts are created, approved, and recorded once the subdivision improvements are in place, and these improvements are to be accepted by the city. In this particular case, Valle del Sol Phase 3 was never improved until now that it became Phases 3 and 4. By repealing these 2019 resolutions, we ensure that only there will be one property tax assessment and not two for these improvement districts. Resolutions to repeal are Street Lighting Improvement District, Resolution of Intention number 2019-009, and Resolution of Authorization number 2019-011. And also Retention Basin Improvement District, Resolution of Intention number 2019-008, and Resolution of Authorization number 2019-010. Any questions from council?
Questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve resolution 2020-001? A motion by Councilman Villalpando. Second by Councilman Castillo. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Item number 2, discussion and possible approval of resolution number 2020-002, resolution of the City of Somerton pertaining to submission of project for consideration in Arizona 2021 Highway Safety Plan.
Sorry about that, I was asleep at the chair. Previously, when I've applied for these in the past, they require a resolution when we accept it. And this time when I read the application, I didn't notice that they changed it. Now, there's actually 2 resolutions. This is the first one I'm presenting. And this goes with my packet when I submit it. And then if they give us an award, they require we do a second resolution. I'll bring that to you later if we're awarded another one. And then the city manager, Ian McGahey, will do a letter of a commitment for us. And so I'm asking if you could pass this resolution that we can submit the packet tomorrow.
Any questions or comments? Is there a motion? There's a motion by Councilman Gonzalez, second by Vice Mayor Garcia. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item number 3, discussion of possible action regarding contracting a financial advisor for potential bond issuance.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Consultant Jerry Cabrera and Finance Director Zorina Gallegos have been gathering information, resources related to a financial advisor for potential bond issuance. Mr. Cabrera is here tonight to share some of that information with the council.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, last month we requested some proposals from 3 vendors, Stifel, Piper Sandler, and Wedbush. In regards to all 3 of them, we reviewed their proposals. Sarina and myself spoke to all 3 vendors. The one that we looked at closely was Wedbush and Piper Sandler, as their fee structures were somewhat similar to themselves. They were a little bit more affordable than Stifel were, and that's the conversation that Sarina and I were actually proposing, to look at either Wedbush or Piper Sandler. In our consideration for both, the fees were almost comparable, except for Wedbush, where they had a little bit more detail as far as the city of Somerton. There were a little bit more detail as to whom they were, and the areas that they had worked with. Based on that, and including the schedule and timetables that they have set up for us, I think that's the one that we kind of looked at to consider more than Piper Sandler, being that they were comparable in that area as far as the bond issuance from anywhere from 2 to 10 million. They were somewhat comparable. Anything that is above the $10 million mark for bond issuance, Wedbush was more affordable. I think at $1.75 for 1,000 versus Piper Sandler at $2.75, I believe. And I think you have both all 3 packets in front of you. Any questions?
Any questions, comments? Did everybody review the packets? And to mind you, as this is concerned, we're looking only at financial advisor.
We're still going to be, if, depending on what our bonding capacity is, and if we do go after a bond issuance, then at that time, we'll be looking at the bond issuancer, which can be one of these other vendors as well, and then including a bond counsel as well. And bond counsel might be coming sooner than actually the bond issuancer, because they have to work closely with the financial advisors, especially for the elections and the verbiage.
Second. Second by Councilman Galindo, those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Discussion.
Hold on, Mayor. So the recommendation is to authorize also the mayor to execute all documentation for that. Is that okay?
We need another motion or?
Okay, thank you.
Item number 4, discussion and possible action to confirm mayor appointments to the local public safety personnel retirement system.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, our local public safety personnel retirement system board members need to be updated. We have 2 boards, one for the Somerton Police Department and one for the Somerton Cocopah Fire Department. The requirement for each board's makeup is the mayor or his appointed designee as the chairman, 2 citizens appointed by the mayor and approved by the city council, and 2 members elected by secret ballot by the PSPRS members of each department. PSPRS stands for Public Safety Personnel Retirement System. The 2 boards are identical except for the members elected by each individual department. And Mr. Mayor, you had reached out to me to indicate your wish to have me, to designate me as the chairman. And the 2 citizens would be Armando Leon, our Human Resources Specialist, and Priscilla Botero, the Payroll Benefit Coordinator. Sotelo, excuse me. So if that pleases the council, the action requested is to confirm Mayor Anaya's appointments to the PSPRS local boards.
Any questions, comments?
Make a motion to approve item number 4.
So motion by Councilman Gonzalez,
Second.
second by Councilman Rodan. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, discussion and possible action to create a committee to review and make recommendations to update the city's procurement policy.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the city's procurement policy dates to 2008 and has sections which appear to be incompatible with our own city code and possibly state statute. The policy has often been confusing to staff, and its various interpretations a source for frequent debate. I'm recommending a review by a committee made up by a representative from the city council, the city attorney, and 3 department directors are their designees as determined by the city manager. So the recommended action is to create a committee to review and make recommendations to update the city's procurement policy, to appoint a representative from the council to serve on the committee, and to authorize the city manager to select 3 department directors or their designees to serve on this committee along with the city attorney. So a 5-person committee to evaluate, review, and make recommendations to the city's procurement policy.
Well, I feel that our procurement expert here in council is via Pablo, so like to nominate.
Councilman Gonzalez actually would like to do it, I mean, which I would care.
I would like to get Mr. Villalpando. I nominate Mr. Villalpando.
I second.
I third. Yeah, yes, so basically trying to discuss with you. I don't, I mean, we are both of us are the ones that had an issue with criminal funds, but if this is the after doing anything to it, I think this is the best person to appoint a committee.
And quite honestly, I think it's something that is really needed.
There's been times with me and we sit down and talk about it, and it is conflicting. There is some sections that conflict with each other. I guess if you guys want me to do it, I'll be more than happy to take on this task. I guess, yeah.
Then we'll blame him.
Yeah, I know.
We need a motion on that?
Yes, sir. The required action would be to create a committee to review and make recommendations to update the city's procurement policy, appoint Councilmember Villapando to serve on the and authorize the city manager to select 3 department directors or their designees to serve on the committee. City Attorney Lozano.
One thing that I do request though is us as a committee, we'll probably give council some updates as we go along with the changes versus having to wait till the very end. I mean, there could be some type of confusion, so that would be my only recommendation before doing this, is that we actually provide, whether it's monthly, because we don't know how long it's going to take us. We provide updates as the changes are required.
Your motion?
Make a motion to appoint Councilwoman Villapando to the committee and Mr. McGahee's decision on the other members.
So motion by Vice Mayor Garcia, second by Councilman Gonzalez. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we have a short meeting, so I think we're gonna do summer special current events after, or not, just kidding. I won't do that. No. So that's okay, summary of current events.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, just a brief update. I met with Gina Thompson, the superintendent of the Union High School District this morning to review a number of items. She'll be meeting with Caitlin Harrier, the Governor Ducey's education advisor, tomorrow afternoon to push for a guarantee of funding for the Somerton High School. In the meantime, the district has begun work on the boundary for the high school. This is something that Ms. Thompson stresses can be a very challenging and noisy political issue, I believe were her words, depending on where that boundary for the high school is drawn. In the meantime, negotiations continue to proceed with the IGA for facilities between the city and the high school, and Mr. Cabrera is representing the city in those negotiations, so things are moving along. The Yuma County Health District Director, Diana Gomez, has been in contact with the Centers for Disease Control and other federal agencies regarding the coronavirus. Yuma County Administrator Susan Thorpe has extended an invitation to Ms. Gomez to brief the council on their efforts that the health district is doing to help contain the potential spread of this virus and other viruses that are seasonal in the area. If the council is interested, we'll look to have the briefing at our next regular council meeting on March 17th. So I see some heads nodding, so we'll get that scheduled. The mayor and I had a good meeting with APS the other day to discuss reduced costs for the potential purchase of streetlights for the city to facilitate an LED conversion, among other topics. So I know this is a long ongoing item that the council's been hearing about from both me and my predecessor, maybe even before my predecessor, but progress is being made and we feel like this could be the right time to strike a deal with APS. So we'll keep you posted on that. And we'll be looking potentially to schedule a work session in the near future to discuss different options for financing infrastructure for city development. Andrea will be reaching out to you to coordinate a time that works best for everyone, but obviously this is an important matter that we need to get some input from council on. So we'll be discussing that fairly soon. And with that, Ms. Gallegos, would you like to update the council?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I have a very short update this week. I have been down 2 staff members, so we have been very, very busy just trying to keep up to date with day-to-day operations. So I have been able to have some progress with regards to our ERP system and getting the budget going. We were able to fix a flaw that has been consistent for over 6 months within our system, so that should help us get the budget going online. And I met with a representative from NeoPost in order to bring in some mailing services, which will be going out to the different department heads in case that's a service that we want to go with. But as of now, bills were sent out today. And so utility bills were sent out this week. The shut-off last week went rather well. I don't have any major issues, so that's all I have for you tonight.
I was gonna say that she did the timing walk 3 times at the refrigerator. From all 3 sides.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Our street crew continue with the pathway and retention basin maintenance. We also gonna move forward with the alleys and collectors after the pathway has been completed. And also our crew continue working on the crack seal program. So far, we have completed several segments and subdivision. Currently, we are working on Venecia that we expected to be completed this week. Also, our street crew completed the concrete slab for the future Somerton Welcome sign on Main Street. The slab is already completed. And also, this Thursday, we will have the pre-bid meeting for the water tank project. So this Thursday, March 5th at 9 a.m. we're going to have the pre-bid meeting and the site visit. And by March 19th, we're going to have the bid open. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. Just a little update. The water line extension on the Mesa area is in progress, and we still working on that specific details of that. So, talking with the city attorney, we may need to have a little potentially an amendment to that, because the water line is going to be for the warehouse. They want to proceed a little faster than the actual procedure that we have right now. So they asking to move a little to start the construction of the water line. So we're gonna work with them and see if we can assist them, and if they want to do it faster than the city process. So we're gonna working with the city attorney to get something so we can get it done on that case. This weekend they have the Agro Baja conference in Mexicali. So from Frontier is going to be representing the region, Yuma, San Luis, Somerton, and Welton. So everybody is invited to attend Agro Baja. And in that conference, all companies from Mexico, they meet there once a year. And this is going to be the 20-year anniversary of that conference. A lot of agricultural companies from Mexico, they get together, they do business. So Nasser Mendez is going to be representing us. I may not be able to attend it, but he is going to be providing some information for us. One of the news, remember the Oriental House, the Oriental House restaurant? He's coming back again. He was able to purchase the building, the Metro PCS on Main Street last week. So he's going to proceed to remodel the building and put a business right there. He couldn't buy the corner as initially proposed, but he was able to buy the other building, and it's going to be working on that one with the city very soon. We also working with the high school, of course, with the infrastructure development. In my case, I want to be assisting them in the impacts fees related activities and requirements based on the SAM's calculation for the water and sewer infrastructure costs. So I'm creating a spreadsheet and calculating the potential benefit area, who's going to pay what based per acre calculation, and based on those numbers, I'm showing the developer, commercial developer, and also Sunset Community Health. They want to know how much is going to be the cost of the infrastructure cost. So based on those calculations, I'm going to meet with this commercial developer tomorrow. Also, the Michoacana, as you remember, this has been working with them for a while. They already working on the architectural drawings. They may be done probably early April. Based on that information, we're gonna be helping them and do a quick review. It's a small building, so hopefully we can get it done by the summer. According to Andres Salcido, he mentioned to me this morning that Chris Thompson is the architect, so that will be coming soon. Okay. The old City Hall site, I'm still working with the broker, real estate broker. We're talking a couple other options right now, potentially a restaurant in the corner, so I don't want to mention the name yet, but I'm working with them, and potentially we get something going very soon on that corner as well. I think that's all I have, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, we continue working with the 2020 census operation. We've been very busy. City staff, also the partners that we have with the Somerton Complete Count Committee. We participated at the Greater Days Parade and the block party. We handed out over 500 flyers, so we had a really good turnout and a lot of people in our little booth asking questions about the census and the importance of it. So our next event is scheduled for March 12th. It's going to be here outside City Hall, and this is going to be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And we are going to be working along with our local partners, our local members of the Complete Count Committee. So far, we have AWC, the Regional Center for Border Health, Campesinos Sin Fronteras, WACOG, Sunset, and we're still recruiting more partners that are going to be outside City Hall that day during those hours, and along with the information from their own programs, that we are also going to be assisting the residents to fill out their questionnaires. If they don't know how to navigate the internet and the census page, we are going to be there to assist them. We had a training with the Census Bureau, and we already know exactly what the do's and don'ts of assisting with the questionnaire. So we're moving forward with that. We also have some questionnaire assistance sites that have been identified within the city of Somerton, so people don't have to walk too far or drive. They can go across the street to some of these local agencies that are going to be opening their doors and having a workstation with a computer and somebody that is going to be properly trained to assist them to fill out their questionnaire. So we have several sites that are already identified, and we have some flyers, some information, posters that are going to be giving all this information to the residents. Thank you to Cesar Nilloy. He also published a really nice article in the newspaper this last weekend, informing the residents about these other events that we are putting together. And also, I have applied for a grant through the National League of Cities and Towns, and hopefully we're going to get some additional funding for the census operation. We'll see. Aside from that, we continue working with the infill incentive overlay plan. We have the public meetings already scheduled. We're going to have 2 or 3 public meetings at different locations, various locations, to explain what the benefits and what the actual plan entails to the residents and the property owners that are going to be within those districts that we are proposing. We would like to have their comments, their concerns, their questions submitted at this meeting, so when we have the adoption process, we can bring that information to you. This is aside from the adoption process. We haven't initiated the adoption process because we want to hear from the residents, the property owners of these areas within those districts. We also have 3 rezoning cases that are working with right now, a conditional use permit and also a small preliminary plat subdivision that was submitted, and you're going to be reviewing it pretty soon and hopefully approving it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, good evening. On the census information that I have is that we've been meeting with Carmen, or at least our staff has been getting prepared our communication supervisors so they can answer some of those questions for the census, and our front desk personnel is being trained as well. Greater Days event went very well. Nobody was arrested or nobody decided to get in trouble, so that was very, very, very good. It seems like everybody had a lot of fun and it was calm, so we're glad about that. And we thank the person that coordinated some of those additional security guards for us that day. That is very helpful. It's extra eyes for us out there. Our volunteer program is going very well. We're still doing, completing a couple backgrounds in order for us to bring at least one more person on board. We have one volunteer who's giving us a lot of hours. She's covering the front desk for us. She's probably putting 30 or so many hours a week in helping us. That allows our front desk clerk to continue to work on the evidence and continue to work on the impound lot and additional assistance to us with invoices and a lot of the paperwork that comes to finance. So that's very helpful. A lot of our focus right now and our attention from command staff is on backgrounds, completing some of those backgrounds for the new potential hires, and budget planning. And the last thing is our dispatchers are fully staffed. We have about 3 of them still in training, so we're still not completely solo with each dispatcher, but we're getting there. And it's been a very busy week, and I think it's going to continue to be that way. Thank you.
I'm sure all of you have been keeping up with the coronavirus in the news, and you read and you see it impacts the cruise liners. It's impacted the aviation industry, and now in Washington they have the community spread. The community spread is the dangerous one. That's when they don't know why the person got it. They didn't have known contact with other people. The reason I'm bringing it up is because in Kirkland, Washington, the fire department there went to a nursing home. It's the nursing home where the 4 people died and the 9 people were sick. The whole crew got infected. They went back to station. They infected the rest of the guys at station. They have 24 firefighters right now that are in 14-day quarantine. Now, the reason I bring this up is if that were ever to happen to a department like ours or Yuma or San Luis, it would shut us down. We would run out of people. So it's very dangerous. Other than that, any rigs that they use, they're not transport capable in Kirkland, but we are. So if we transport people with the coronavirus, we're going to end up having that rig shut down for at least a week while it gets disinfected. And so it's popping up in unexpected ways and affecting us in unexpected ways. I had the battalion chief meet with the YRMC, with the pre-hospital care committee. That's a committee that's comprised of all the different agencies, Rural Metro, Yuma, YPG, everybody has members. And we speak with the pre-hospital coordinator and the doctor that's in charge of the ER. And so the coronavirus came up. They really don't have a plan. And so we weren't very happy about that. Thankfully, we have a plan because we prepared for the Ebola virus. I don't know if you all remember that. And we had people in Mexico that actually had it, and they were afraid it was going to come through the border, and so we had to prepare for it. And so we created Ebola packets, which are basically spacesuits with masks and face shields and gloves and booties and the whole thing. And so we're going to be issuing this to our people in case they run on people that have flu symptoms. Even if they don't have corona, we're not going to take the chance they do and end up infecting our people, have them quarantined where we lose staff. So just to keep you up to date with the fact that this virus is affecting the nation in ways that we didn't expect.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. This is Master Parks and Recreation Director. I have a few updates. Just registrations are still open for girls softball, t-ball, baseball. Gonna keep going for the next few weeks. Just to note, soccer's gonna start this Thursday, March 5th. Had a total of 17 teams, around almost 200 kids sign up, so it's gonna start Thursday. Just so you know, we contacted guards from last year for the aquatic center, and so we're gonna start the hiring process soon. Get that going, so we get the guards certified and get them ready for the pool season. So that's gonna come up pretty fast. And in terms of events, we're right now ongoing programming for the Day Glow event for the Dia del Niño. That's coming up in April. So we have a few events coming up. The programming for the 4th of July is continuing. We have our first team meeting tomorrow, actually, to dig into further for all the programming matter of of our biggest Parks and Rec event. That should go pretty good. In terms of parks, we had today in collaboration with Special Events Coordinator Brisa Garcia, they held a good day of the park, lunch at the park event with seniors. I appreciate council being here, our administrator, Mr. McGahee. It was a nice event. We had a good turnout to reveal two new features at Sanguinetti Park. It was held today at noon. Saw some faces also from the other departments, so that was nice, and the seniors really appreciated. Also, of course, Greater Days was a nice event for the community. Our team was happy. It was a memorable event for the community. It exceeded our expectations in terms of attendance, and especially the people were happy. The people were happy. We're not artists, but you feel appreciated. You feel good when you see the people happy. It's like when you you saw those muecas, they were playing, they were 15-year-old, because they felt the reception of the people. They were happy. They even called me yesterday. Hey, thanks Somerton, the city, the council. They treated us well. We were happy and we felt excited. And you can tell when somebody's doing something with a passion. So you feel good when events are good and you see the people happy, like, oh, it was worth it. And of course, it's always worth it, but I mean, it's all the effort that we put into those events. It's not, oh, the day we show up and everything's ready. And I appreciate all the departments helped one way or another, so it was a good team effort. And with that, I just take the opportunity to hand out the council. They applied for second place for automobile. It was pending from Saturday, so it was some nice automobiles that were present. And that's about it. Thank you.
And that's the staff reports, Mr. Mayor.
You know what? I want to thank Ian and the paramedics and the firefighters that went to read to Desert Sonora students last week. So I was fortunate enough to go in and saw some community members there. So thank you for taking that time. You know, I'm looking forward for the upcoming League of Cities conference. You know, thank you, Somerton, for investing on my professional growth. And you know, all I've heard for the Greater Days event is just positive comments. So I want to thank everyone that was involved. You know, and let's keep it going. So that's all I have.
I'll just thank Parks and Rec. You guys pulled it off. I was a little worried that we might not be able to pull it off, but yeah, you guys pulled it off. As far as the community is concerned, it was a great event. Nothing but positive feedback on that. And keep up the good work, and always give your all, you know, when you do these events, because it is a huge reflection upon the city. So I just want to say on my behalf, you know, thank you for putting that together, because it was pretty good. That's all I have, man.
I just want to say that we invited for the city of San Luis for a press conference at Cesar Chavez in a month. I thank Cesar Chavez. I think Mr. Cesar. For being there. I was expecting you to ask me some questions, but you didn't. But anyway, the mayor was the one that answered all the questions, but he did mention that for the future celebrations that he wants to get Somerton more involved in it, and same thing with Yuma and Welton. But ideas and brainstormings are always welcome. So looking forward to celebrate Cesar Chavez this month. I also want to thank Parks and Rec and his staff for putting this Somerton Great Days event in a good manner. And also, I want to thank the other departments that helped out for this event. The only, there's also, my recommendation is that do music or entertainment friendly. In other words, put up some, English bands. Because I heard a lot of people say, this is Somerton City Days, it's a 5 de Mayo or it's a September, because most of it was more like celebrating that, But, and the mayor and I talked about it, we should have more Anglo music, to say, variety of music, like that, how the Corn Fest does, and also the Tamal Festival, they do all the earlier events are more, I hate to say that, more little white boys, friendly music.
English.
The music music. But I just couldn't find the word of thank you. But something, it's always room for improvement, so that's something to think about for next year. You guys were great.
Vice Mayor.
I attended the YMTO meeting last week. Somerton is officially the chair.
Yes.
I held half of the meeting when it was turned over, but I'm going to need some guidance from you on where we want to take Somerton with that. I also want to commend Parks and Rec for an amazing Greater Days. It was a complete turnaround from last year. You guys did an amazing job. I know that Mr. Mesa had to hit the ground running when he didn't have a events coordinator, but I'm glad we now have one, and we can now put all events and have her coordinate with your guidance. And I'm hopeful for the future events that will continue with the same process and outcome. Residents really enjoyed it. I heard a lot of good comments. Thanks to all staff, because I think everybody was involved in the planning and helping out. Saw a lot of red shirts, and it looked really nice. Everybody was very uniform. So thank you, and okay.
Councilman Calino.
I'm not going to commend you guys on this past weekend because everybody did already. But
You didn't go.
yeah, I didn't go, by the way. Family counselors. I was approached by one of the residents from Las Estrellas. This is just information for Ian or for Sam or for whoever. As they're requesting lights for the park. I guess there's a walking path or a park inside Las Estrellas, and I know there's no. They said after 5 o'clock the kids cannot go out. It's dark there, so I said, well, let me just pass the word and see what we can do.
We have a district there, so
yeah, they don't think they don't pay attention. They were telling me, I noticed they put lights behind the southwest or whatever, that Somerton, over here by the DES for the parking lot, so people know what we're doing. So they said, can they put something like that over here? So they're paying attention on what we do. So they were asking me, can we put some lights over here? So I said, sure, vote for me and I will. I'll put your lights and vote for you. That's all. Thank you very much. And it was a great, I guess, weekend. I heard about it. I went through there around 10:30, almost 11, and it was packed. But I thought for a moment the electricity went out because I went behind the stage and you can hardly hear the music. But to the sides you can, but not behind. So I don't know if that was something for those neighbors there, or quiet, or
so we can come out.
Or maybe the
laser sound.
Lasers. But no, I heard everything was great. So.
Same thing is my mom lives close to the park, and Las Muecas, it was one of the group that she grew, with them, and for her to hear them and take a picture. Hasta que hacen algo bueno, mijo. So congratulations for doing a good event, and I think that helps you, to continue doing more and more, and
So congratulations on that, and, to the whole team, and, just continue doing that.
And again, it was a great event. All positive comments on Facebook. How come the Tamale Festival doesn't bring this type of artists and everything? So it's all positive. And I didn't know those muecas, but I think I became a fan. It reminded me of back in the 80s. It was good, and also, of course, all staff and also department heads. It was, nice seeing you. Serena climbing, Hector eating 3 bags of churros, and then Carmen working the census hat. So, thank you for showing up to those events. And Sam, hopefully I see you in one of these events.
Me too, Sam. I never go. The tower climbing.
And we had the APS. It was positive. Ian touched on it, so hopefully, right now we're gonna purchase lights. Probably right now is the time, so hopefully we can work, something out. And that's thank you for attending the retreat. It was positive. We haven't seen each other since then. So. That's it. So do we want to adjourn to executive session?
Second.
So motion by Councilman Villalpando, second by Councilman Rodan. All those in favor? Aye. Cálmate. Sí.